Hi, everybody. I'm Rachel, as in Rachel G. Palmistry, and thank you for joining us here tonight on SPTV. And good evening, Verity. Nice to see you. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. So, yes, I read palms. That's what I do here online. I also do that out in the real world. Woo! I've been doing it for 35 years, if you are not familiar with me. I started when I was 15, and I am now the big 50. I'm 50. So that equates to 35 years of reading palms all over the place. So the way I do it when I do it online here is you need to take a photo of your palm, the hand, I should say, that you write with, okay? That is considered your current life and also your dominant hand. So for me, I'm right-handed. So I would take a photo that is from the wrist all the way out, including all the tips of my fingers. Make it as clear as possible. You just use your cell phone, and then you send it into the email down there, which is photos@spiritualpsychicstv.online. And there is no real system, okay? So it isn't like I really just choose somebody I know or anything like that. No, I don't do that at all, okay? Sometimes the producer, Richard, who's in my ear right here, he will give me a number or he'll ask if I've read somebody before, because what happens is that sometimes it's too soon to get a palm reading because the lines do change in the hand, but they only change every 6 to 8 weeks. And it's very subtle, very, very subtle, okay? So, all that being said, I think that we have a few adverts. Is that right? We're going to start with that. Is that right, Richard? Yeah, let's do the adverts now.
Leslie Moulton joins us tomorrow with a guided meditation. The show starts from 11 a.m.
Okay, and we also have Marcus and Deb, and that is tomorrow night, I believe, at 8 p.m. UK time. So that would be 3 p.m. here in Eastern Daylight Time, the East Coast and the part of the Midwest of the States. And they are wonderful. Is this where they use the photos that people send in? Oh, not tomorrow. So tomorrow it's just an evening of mediumship with the most wonderful people, Marcus and Deb. They're such a good duo. They really, really are. They're friendly people too. So don't miss that. Mark your calendars, okay? All right, so let's get those hands ready. Now be brave, everybody, and understand that the photos are not kept in like some secret file somewhere, right? Once the show is over, all of the photos that are sent in, they actually are discarded. So you don't have to worry about anybody keeping a photo of your hand, okay? It serves no purpose, right? So also toward the end of the show, hi Terry, good to see you. Now, so toward the end of the show, I will be pulling some cards. Hi Natalie, good evening to you. And I will do that kind of rapid fire. And I have a tarot deck. Hi Ali, and I have a oracle deck as well. And I kind of spend maybe a minute. Hi, Linda. I spend a minute per person, give or take. Sometimes it's a minute and a half. And I kind of decide, hey, Millie, which deck to pull from based on the energy that I'm getting. Yeah, I'm kind of weird like that. I'm kind of weird like that. So that'll be toward the end, okay? And it provides for a bit of interesting little bit of a shakeup toward the end there. Hi, Donnie. Hi. Oh, you always watch? Well, thank you. Thank you for the wave, too. Hey, Jade. Hi. welcome. Welcome aboard. I will promise I will not do the whole airplane thing. And from YouTube, hi, Andy. Hey, Linda. All the butterflies, transformation. That's right. Can't wait to see the butterflies. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you. Stephanie, hi. All right. Hi, Regan. Hi, Australia. All right. I hope I did receive it. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, actually, Regan, you are my first one, my first reading for the night. Wow. Okay. So be brave. And now you're like, no, no, shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. All right. So assuming that this is your current life hand, meaning your dominant hand, I'm going to point out a few things right off the bat. You have a lot of water tendencies in your hand. There are 4 major elements in the type of palmistry that I do, okay? So those earth, air, water, and fire. Now, in different types of palmistry, meaning different methodologies, some have 6, some have 8. It's all over the place because there are so many different ways of reading palms, but to keep it simple, I'd keep it with 4. Okay. Some people even include spirit. Okay. So you have water, 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 water. Okay. Now you also are highly empathic. And here's the key though with water hands is that they are the most intuitive. They are the most psychic. They are the most, I don't want to say gifted, but you really are gifted. But sometimes water hands also feel that it's a burden, those gifts. You are highly empathic, which means that you have a lot of water already. And water in palmistry and in tarot and everything is emotions, right? So the thing that I am drawn to on your hand is down in this area, which is the Mount of Luna. And given that we have a full moon upon us tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, right? And it is the flower moon, and it is going to be, we're going to also have an eclipse. So it's going to be a blood moon. Sounds kind of scary, but it's not. It's actually very pretty. This is probably a very heightened time of for you for your emotions, okay? Which is all good, all good. Now, the other thing is that you can see that you are an empath because your hand has so much give, okay? And you have it everywhere on you. Now, the one area that you are not using to its fullest capacity that you really need to is you have to start speaking up for yourself and using your spine. Your spine holds you up, okay? And it's only meant to hold you up. Why do you let other people use you as the crutch? You understand what I'm saying? Like leaning on you and being their support system when you, as a water hand, already have all of these emotions. Now, another thing that you have to discern based on your hand, and this is based on the lines that are going up through the center of your hand, okay? As you have to discern, sit back, give yourself some time to breathe on your own because you cannot discern what emotions you are kind of blending in from other people and then meshing in your own, like what emotions are yours, what troubles are yours, what situations are your own versus the situations that other people are bringing to you and kind of dumping onto you and adding to that water that you already have. They see your ability to get things done, and that is in Saturn. Okay, the length of Saturn is a very, very dominant finger on your hand. So they are going to say, here, Regan can do it. Regan will do it. And then you will put yes to turn constantly. You're spiritual. Okay, perfect. Now, the other thing is that you have to take care of you, though, and you are going to have to, whether you want to or not. You are going to have to create those boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. That is quite a quandary for earth hands and also for water hands, because they automatically draw people toward them. Okay? So it almost feels like a conditioning process, right? I have to help this person. I have to actually be there for this person so that they can tell me their problem. And it's the same with earth hands as well, because earth supplies nutrients to others, symbolically, metaphorically, whatever. So they automatically feel that they have to be in that role. Well, water hands, such as yourself, why I'm saying you need to draw boundaries is because of Apollo, which is the ring finger here, okay? Now, he is about kind of communication, but self-care. So he's the one where you would use all the adjectives to express how you feel about certain situations, certain people, yourself, for yourself. But you also find creativity. Let me see what you're saying here, Regan. Wow, I at times struggle with caring everyone. Their moods affect me incredibly. Learning to say no. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for confirming that. Okay. So through all of this, there is one, actually two fingers that really, really you have put aside, and that is your ego, which is Jupiter. Okay, which is Zeus right here, and then also Mercury. And we happen to be going into Mercury retrograde tomorrow, okay, or is it the 15th? I can't remember. So, which means that I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. So, when you do try to step up and say, no, I can't do this, and you explain why, people are going to question you. And they're probably going to have, the wires of communication are going to be crossed because of Mercury retrograde, right? So right here on your hand, you have a puffy little area, and also right down here, right here, is also a puffy little area. Now, that is called a plane of Aries. Now, you need to tell people how what they are doing affects you. If they do not understand when you say, I can't do something, you need to tell them why you can't do it because of how it affects you. And then they will understand it. Okay? But right now, you're not using that to the fullest capacity, and that is something that you can do. You have extra energy in that area of your palm, and also in your ego. Is very quiet, very reserved, and you also, the size of Venus. Venus is not about love, but about social interaction, and because the thumb is so very long, means that there is a facet of you, and this is not anything that's bad. This is just part of being human, okay? There's a facet of you that is kind of like your Achilles heel, is that you feel better when you are accepted by others. But those other people are the ones that are going to dump on you. So you have to be more discerning in your relationships because you do not have bridging lines in between your relationship line and your wisdom line, which goes across here. This little line here is not a bridging line, but you should have very, very deep lines showing relationships with people in general. And instead, what you have is a very intense emotion like reaction and connection to every person that you are around. And that's not bad at all. It's not bad. It's just part of being human. You just lost your job at Easter for finally saying no. I wouldn't work a public holiday for less wage than deserving. I said, I know my worth, and when I do, I know I want work saying no. Oh, I'm very, very sorry for that. But there is work out there for you. And it involves Apollo, and it involves creativity because of the way your fingers are placed on your hand. If you actually use Jupiter and Apollo together, and I want you to go and read up on their characteristics, it will click for you. It will click for you, and things will change and things will look up. Yeah, I know you did everyone's job. That's part of Saturn. Saturn is that militant, dictatorial, like, yes, this is how it's going to get done because I know how it's supposed to be done. And I'm the only one that knows how it's supposed to be done. So you are going to have to squash that a little bit. Right. Jupiter, which is Zeus, and Apollo. Yes. Look up Jupiter and Zeus. Jupiter and Apollo. Yes. And look up their characteristics because I gotta keep rolling here. Okay, I gotta keep rolling. But I wish I could spend more time with you. If you have any questions at all, Regan, just reach out to me. You can find me on any platform at Rachel G. Palmistry. It's probably posted somewhere on the feed or whatever. It's probably somewhere. So just look for Rachel G. Palmistry and you're going to find me. Trust me. I'm everywhere. You are very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. You're very welcome. All right. So who do we have next, Richard? Dawn Taylor. Okay. Just getting the photo ready. And having some microphone issues on the other end. Hello. Yes, it's being very quiet today. No singing today, everybody. No singing. You cut your thumb off, Dawn. Oh. All right. So it still says Regan at the bottom. Okay. All right. All right. Sure. No problem. So this is Dawn's hand, Dawn Taylor's hand. Hi, Donnie. Hi. So look at your hand. You're a lefty, first off. Congratulations. Which means you are very right-brained. You see the artistic side of things. You think out of the box. You see the gray more so than the black and white mathematical side of the brain, right? Which is the left side. So people come to you and that's kind of what they expect is that vibe, right? So looking at your hand, you feel things very, very intensely. And you have, pardon, Richard? You're right-handed, so you sent me your past life hand. Oh, I can do a past life hand. I can do it, Richard, if you like me to. Okay, sure, let's do it. So since you are right-handed, that's the hand that I asked to be sent in, was the hand that you write with. And this is not your right hand. This means that this is your past life, okay? Everything that is on this hand represents the most poignant events that your soul energy has been through from life to life. Yeah, no current life for you. It's all right. It's okay. But let's look at what happened in the past here for you, okay? Your most recent past life. You felt emotions, raw emotions, so very, very deeply. So very, very deeply. And you were quite the opinionated one in your past life. Also, but you may have been so opinionated, right? And I say that because of your wisdom line and how it looks and how it bends down and how deep it is, right? But toward the end of your life, it branches, which means that you suddenly had an epiphany of like, oh, wait, oh no, I did some stuff I shouldn't have done. Oh, wait, and it was a little too late. Also, when it comes to relationships in your past life, you have a lot of line work actually coming up off of that line, which means that and you also have a little bit coming down off of it. So, your relationships with people were very tumultuous, meaning up and down, up and down, up and down. People were coming and going and coming and going, probably because of the bombastic characteristic and charisma that you had. I'm going to call it charisma to be kind. Now, also, you have some marks on your hand, which I don't know if they are scars or if it's just coloration of the hand, but it is right in this area. And they look almost like a little bit of a bite mark almost, right? Little dots. Now, that happens to be in the Mount of Venus, which has to do with social interaction. So, Dawn, what that means is somebody actually decided to, excuse me for being so frank and brash here, but to shut you up, okay? And to just make you quiet, which is why across from those dots over on the wisdom line where I said it branches, you suddenly decided, oh, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I might have gone a little too far here. And yeah, and that was toward the end of your life because the lines actually end over here, okay? And they begin here, all right? So keep that in mind. Now, you also, with these dots here, even though it's past life, I want you to look at your current life hand and see if you have those dots on your right hand. Because if you do, that means you are repeating something with some of the people that were with you in that past life. So they are going to be throwing stuff at you, that kind of nasty situations, okay? And it's almost going to test your mettle, so to speak. Now, the other thing is, even though you had this, like, this is me, I'm Dawn, I could take on the world, you know, I'm better, blah blah blah, this bombastic attitude, right? You still would hold the truth back from people, which is probably why you got into trouble in your past life. You worked with Apollo, Saturn, and Jupiter. And if you notice, Jupiter was a very dominant, which is about self-esteem and ego. And the way it is standing on your hand means it has a prominent personality characteristic for who you were in your past life. So you felt pretty good about yourself in your past life. You really did, Donnie. You did. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is that you had your own way of doing things because Apollo and Saturn kind of bend together just a little bit, right? Which means that you were able to see things in a very unique way and in a creative sense. So people would kind of follow you. So you had a following of people as well. So, which is interesting. So I'm kind of led to believe that you were perhaps a politician in a past life. That's because that's often seen on people who were politicians or some kind of leader of some type. Okay. And so keep that in mind, because whatever you are doing now on your current life, this is all past life stuff. So pay attention to repeating patterns, right? Is your wisdom line branching again? Do you have those dots again in the mount of Venus? Because even though you did cut off the tip of your thumb is placed. You think they are? Okay. So you are going to be faced with whether or not you have the dots in this life too. Oh boy. Okay. So you are repeating certain attitudes that you had in your past life. So you might want to watch this video again after we're done so you can, take notes, do whatever, because people had some people decided that they were going to shut you up for good, okay? Which is also why your lifeline looks the way it does. And you had so much thrown at you by others, and it's so very short, and you have this event which happens right here. So not only who you were, how people kind of perceived you was affected, but also your health, your life. Don't be a politician. That's right. Don't do it, Donnie. Don't do it. But also just a leader of sorts, somebody who would be put in the role of a leader. Okay. So don't do it. It's more, be more considerate of other people's opinions and how they want to do things. You don't have to do for everybody and tell everybody how they need to do it all the time, because there might be somebody else that might have a different experience, a gift to bring to the table that would help everybody. So that is the mistake you made in your past life. You dominated. You dominated a bunch of people and they didn't like it. So there you go. There you go. So just steer clear of that personality flaw. I'm going to call it a flaw when people speak for others, you know what I mean? And just kind of boss them around. I say, this is what you're going to do. Stop that. Okay, stop that. Just be more open-minded. Be more open-minded and let people speak. Okay. And I bet that those dots will actually start to go away, because those types of things can go away. They can. Remember, every 6 to 8 weeks. So just watch. All right. Well, that was interesting. A past life hand. All right. Yay. All right. So I'm going to take a quick drink here out of my fantastically fabulous flamingo pink mug. Ooh. Excuse me there. So who else do we have, Richard? He's not telling me, he said. You going to surprise me? Verity. All right. Look at you holding your hand so tight. What's that about? Verity. I can see the lines perfectly nice and clear, okay, which is really great. But why you go, man? it's like the chop. The chop me, right? But all right, so you have some really, really great line work. But the most interesting things are your fingers. Now, I want you to notice your thumb. You like to keep to yourself, don't you, Verity? You would prefer to stay to yourself, just kind of be quiet and just kind of be like, I have a very closed off little network of friends, very close friends though, that you hang out with if you do decide to hang out with, right, Verity? And that is because of the size of your thumb, all right, and where it is placed on your hand. It's a very good balanced placement, all right? Now, the other thing is your wisdom line. People are going to come to you for he took 10 pics. Okay. A little excessive, but it's okay. So, with your wisdom line, people are going to come to you for your wisdom. People are going to come to you because you are so discerning when it comes to who you hang out with, because you can kind of see right to the core of who people are. The thing is, though, right, is that these three fingers, right, this is Jupiter, Saturn, and Apollo, they're very long, aren't they? But guess what finger isn't? Ding! Mercury. Mercury is in the middle of your second segment of Apollo, which means that you, and it's even set way low on your palm, which means that you will not put yourself first. Guess what? Verity. You are going to have to start putting yourself first. Whether you like it or not, you cannot, because of the type of hand that you have, which is an earth and water hand, you cannot be the problem solver for everybody out there. You can't do it. Because if you have water and earth, right? Water can supply nutrients to those plants and all those things that you are trying to grow, right? But water can also flood it all out. And guess what part of your hand is water? The fingers. These three guys right here. These three guys right here, okay? Now, you interact with people in society, and when you write, you use your fingers. You don't really use your palm, right? When you shake somebody's hand, you squeeze with the fingers. So the fingers are what kind of people get the vibes from first, right? So they're going to be like, oh, she's got this wateriness to her. All right, yeah. So they can dump on you. They can dump the water. And also because of the length of Saturn and the length and how your fingers, those three guys kind of join together, point together, they're going to be like, you can solve all their problems for them, and they can just lay it on really thick, can't they? I'm sure they do. They lay it on really thick. And then they just kind of walk away because they feel better, which is why you have such a close-knit little community of friends that you rely on, because you don't want to deviate from that. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Now, the other thing is this, back to this Mercury issue, right? If you want to stop that, you are going to have to step out of your comfort zone and really work on using this area of your hand. So you have two planes of Aries. You have one over here and you have one over here. Okay, and they're actually shaped like a little square, not like it's drawn on your hand that way, but on like a map or a schematic of the palm, right? So this area looks like it actually has more give in it than it does over here, okay? Now, what that means is that you have used the I can't do this anymore, it's just too much, I can't do it, meaning using your emotions to explain to people why you can't take on their problems for them. And it's going right over their heads. So what you need to do right now, it's always been that way. I'm sure it has been, okay? Now, what you need to do is to start using the energy of Saturn and Jupiter and putting yourself first. Thinking better about you and understanding like I just said to Regan, and like you have to understand that backbone that is in you is only meant to hold you up and not the weight of the world. Okay? That's just plain and simple. Just plain and simple as it could be. And you are going to have to start explaining things that way using your ego. I cannot do this because I have an appointment for me. I cannot do this because I am going, etc., etc. And make sure that you are talking about things that you want to do for yourself. Okay? And people will be like, oh, okay, all right. And they'll step back a little bit. And they will not be used to that. They will not be used to that. Okay? Because if everybody knows you for making a left-hand turn your entire life, you always make left-hand turns. I know you struggle with that. I know. That's why I'm saying it's going to be out of your comfort zone. So if you do, be easy on yourself, okay? Because if they only know you for doing the same thing over and over throughout your life, and all of a sudden you decide, I'm going to make a right-hand turn today, not a left, they're going to be like, what is wrong with her? It always happens. Always happens. But change always needs to be made because with comfort comes complacency. And you're not meant to be complacent, not with a name like Verity. Okay? You're not meant to have that life, especially with the hand that you have. No, do not take on any more water from people. Okay? I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me for anything. For anything. All right. So, who do we have next, Richard? Are you going to tell me? Wendy? Wendy, okay. Wendy May, I believe Richard said. Payne, Wendy Payne. Okay. Just getting ready, getting photo ready. There we go. Ooh, air. Wendy Payne, air. Air, air, air. With a little bit of earth pulled in, which is a rare combination, just so you know. Earth and air combined is a rare combination, but I get it. I often get it because the most hand types I see are in this order. It's always earth first, and then water, and then fire, and then air. I'll probably write a book about it at some point in my life. I talk about it all the time, so I might as well write the darn book, right? But anyway, so with your hand, you have so very many, many lines of, now this is not meant to be demeaning or anything. It's just part of the human condition, right? I mean, I even have them too, I will admit. You have so many doubt lines, and you have to stop that. You have to stop that. You have doubt lines underneath Mercury, right here. You have doubt lines underneath Apollo. You also have doubt lines underneath Saturn. And why I say you have to stop that is because you have a line of success right here, okay? It doesn't actually wrap around, but it's right here. It's just me trying to do this, like, there we go, perfect. So that line of success means that if you were to just realize how important you are to the people around you and how you fit in, and you truly do fit in whether it feels like it or not, that all of that self-doubt would go away and you would have such success in everything that you put your heart and mind to. Okay? Now, Saturn, you doubt whether or not the things that you do actually matter. And a lot of people feel that way. They truly, truly do, especially in this day and age. It's an unfortunate truth, okay? And you also have a doubt as to whether or not, if you were to explain to people how they make you feel about certain things, whether or not they would even sink in, or if it would even matter to them. So why say it, right? And then also you have self-doubt lines underneath Mercury, which is about, if your personal truth. Like, even if you were to say the truth, that you saw something, right? And you're like, why should I even bother in saying it? Why should I even point out that they promised that, or etc.? Because it wouldn't matter. It would go right over their heads. They would just ignore it. And that is a horrible thing, because you have such a deep success line underneath Jupiter, that if you just believed in yourself more. Now, here, this is the situation as to why all this self-doubt exists, okay? Do you see how long Venus is, the thumb? There is a part of you, just like before, I already mentioned it with somebody else's hand, there is a part of you that feels validated, and if you are accepted by what you do for others. Meaning, if you do something and they accept you into the club, so to speak, right? That is what will justify who you are, and it'll be like, oh, I'm in, right? I'm part of the club, part of the crew, right? You don't need relationships like that. That's your Achilles heel. That's why you have all that self-doubt, because with an air hand, and these are air fingers, and you are interacting with air, let me tell you the power that you have, Wendy. You have the ability to tell people, I'm not going to help you, or I am going to help you. Or you also have the ability to tell them to work it out themselves. Because let's think about this. And I use this scenario a lot, right? This visualization. But we don't know which way the wind is really truly going to blow, do we? And that is the power that you have in these three fingers, okay? And also in your palm, right? So when somebody is in a boat and they're like, oh, I really need the wind to blow. So, hey, Wendy, can you help me? Can you put some wind in my sails and, help me move forward? You could be like, no, don't want to. Don't feel like it. You can do that. I don't know if you realize that or not. You can do that. And you have every right to do that with the way people have treated you throughout your life. And also, you can decide to help them get to wherever they want to go. But you can also, which is something that I don't think you realize, is that you can also decide to not blow wind into their sails at all. Okay? You can just be like, no, you're on your own. You're on your own here. But because of this thumb and how big it is, it's that Achilles heel. That's the part where it'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll help. I'll help. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it, right? So you are going to have to pull back. If somebody asks you for something, you're going to have to rein it in a little bit, and you are going to have to get out of your comfort zone, because what I'm trying to do with the way I read palms is help people change the patterns that they keep repeating so that they can be the best and feel the best that they can possibly be, okay? And also, you have this area in the Mount of Luna, or the Mount of Selene, which is the moon goddess. And I don't know if it is just a shadow or what it is, or if it's a bomb, but it's very significant in that you should probably write down the things that people have done to you. Okay? You really, really should. And thank you, Wendy. Bless you too, Wendy. Okay? Now, because you've done a lot of things for a lot of people, and you have not been given the proper credit that you deserve. And it's true. Okay? But you have to understand your power. And the people around you don't want you to know that power that you do have. And that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Now, they also make you question you. So you will think and feel one way and do another way, which isn't good. You shouldn't have to hide who you are for the benefit of others, because it's just that, for the benefit of others. It's not for your benefit, is it? So find time for you. Find those things that make you happy and put that air in your own sails. Okay? Use it. Use that power that you have. Air is one of the strongest elements, especially when it comes to independence, like being very independent. Okay? But you have this thumb, which is why you help so many people. Okay? So I hope that helped, Wendy. I hope that helped, because you are so much stronger than you know. You really are. And I'm not placating you. You have air with a little bit of earth. So even though you have that Mercury finger, which is very earth-like, right? And wanting to supply nutrients and tell people the truth of situations, right? And how to help them, you still have that air any way the wind blows, right? It's up to you. It's up to you. And you have that success line. But again, it's up to you whether or not you are going to succeed. Okay. So I hope that helped. And if you have any questions at all, I will remember your hand. I will. Just reach out to me, Wendy. Okay. All right. So who do we have next? Lynn. Hi, Lynn. Wow. Look at your hand. All right. So, again, thumb issue. Okay. And you have very interesting the other fingers as well are very, very interesting. You're on the younger side of things when it comes to the line work on your hand. So I'm curious about something. You don't actually, by what I can see, because there's a little bit of shadow in this one area. Okay, there's a shadow right in here, right? But it appears that your wisdom line and your lifeline do not pinch together like this, okay? If they are separate, which they appear to me to be separate, that means actually that something happened to you in your past life where you were not able to complete like a karmic mission or a karmic situation that you were supposed to finish. Like you were like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then someone or something happened and you didn't get to. Okay. And it's usually because of someone else, that somebody decided that you just weren't going to be allowed to finish it. So if they do not pinch together in this current life, that means that you have a direct line. If you wanted to, if you meditated, or if you wanted to do any kind of past life regression work to tap into wisdom from that past life, to finish off all those things that you were supposed to finish, okay? just because those lines aren't pinched together. So people will come to you and they will ask, Lynn, hey, should I do this? Hey, Lynn, what's your opinion on such and such? And that is because they can feel the energy that you have, which is that older wisdom, because it's like a live open wire, right? It's a live wire. I mean, that needs to be repaired by the electric, right? It needs to be repaired. So you already can see people will come to you and they'll say, Lynn, hey, should I take this job? And you'd be like, no, because this is what's going to happen. And you can see everything from A to Z, everything in the middle, everything, how things are going to work out. Because that is what happens when you have that open line, right? So also, you have a very, very great presence line, not as in a present, but presence, like how people, the vibe people get from you. And it runs straight up through the middle of your hand. So you've known from the get-go, from the very, very earliest stages of your life, pretty much who you are. And it might not feel that way, but other people think that about you. They think, whoa, Lynn is like this strong person, this strong personality that we can all go to. And I'm just going to point something out here. Look at Jupiter and how wide Jupiter is, Zeus. Zeus is very prominent on your hand, which means that you can assume that leader role, that leadership role very, very easily. So watch the bullying, okay? Some people might accuse you of bullying just because you can see it from A to Z and everything in between, and they can't. You're probably an older soul, okay? So, which means that everybody, we're all coming from different backgrounds. We're all coming from different age points when it comes to our energy. And the older you are, you may be even older than your parents when it comes to soul energy age, okay? So understand that what you have also on your relationship line, and the way it goes all the way across here, you have somebody, because you have these lines that go up, there's somebody in your life very close to you, probably family member or significant other, that excuse me there, I don't know what happened there. I need some water again. That you knew in your past life, okay? And is it the person that prevented you from completing your task? Who knows? Who knows? But I'll tell you the qualities that they have. They have the quality of Saturn. And Saturn is that, like, you listen to me. You don't listen to yourself. You don't listen to what's in your head. You listen to me because I know how things are supposed to go. I am Saturn. I'm Kronos. I'm a Titan god. You do as I say. So that is the quality of that person. They think they know what's best. And you then have a live tap and feed into your past life experience if you want it. So I'm very curious if you ever do get a past life regression or anything, let me know. Because I'm curious as to what you were working on. Because you also have a line underneath Apollo, which is just like shooting right up off of your relationship line, which means that you are going to be working on something very creative with somebody. Somebody very creative is like in and around your life, and you will do great things with them according to your hand, in like a, I don't know, writing or kind of being just creative with them. It's not necessarily a relationship kind of a thing. I mean relationship in broad sense here, okay? So we're talking friends, co-workers, stuff like that. So pay attention to that person because they play an important role in where you're going in your journey in your current life. Now, also, your hand, the way your fingers are placed on your palm is very, very balanced. But again, your thumb is a little bit on the big side, which is okay because of where it's placed, right? If it was way down here, that would mean that you were truly, truly, really independent, right? And if it was up here, that would mean that you really just wanted to fit in, but it's kind of like smack in the middle, like mine, right? It's just like smack in the middle. So you do not have the need to fit in, but you certainly would like to fit in. But you're also an empath. This area looks very squishy on you, like a little pillow-like ability to you. So I'm also going to suggest that you work on finding out what type of empath you are. I also feel that you do have some clair tendencies based on the rings that are underneath Saturn and the ring that you have, literally the rings, these little areas right here, okay? The rings that you have underneath Saturn, the ring that you have underneath Apollo, and the partial ring that you have underneath Mercury. So if you were to go into a communicative field of work, you would go very, very far, and you probably have some clear, I don't know, I really want to say like clairaudience, like not clairvoyance, not clairsentient, but clairaudience to you. So curious. And if you can't meditate by listening to a different app or something like that, then it just means that you need to go somewhere in a room full of people that are doing the same thing you are. And I'm telling you, it's a whole completely different energy experience, okay? Than if you were to just do it at home. But try it at home first if you haven't tried it already and see how you feel. Make sure you have a journal so that you can write down anything that comes into your mind when you are actually meditating because it will link you into what you did in your past life. So I hope that helped, Lynn. All right. We're just buzzing through here, aren't we? Oh. And these new headphones are working pretty good for me. Well, I can, but yeah, yeah. Yeah, you guys have no idea what we're talking. There's microphone issues on the other side of my little headphone here, my headphone things here. So that's all we're talking about. So that's why we were a little late starting today. That's all. We were like, can we hear you? Can you hear me? Can I hear you? All right, Kelly Morgan, are you here? Carrie Morgan, I'm sorry. Carrie Morgan, Carrie Morgan. Love your hand, by the way. If you could just say if you are still here, because I only do hands for people that are actually here. Keep it fair for everybody. But wow, what a hand. Oh, are you singing Sweet Caroline? Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond. All right. Yeah. We're getting Neil Diamond tonight. You know, I had to, when I was in 7th grade, this is complete tangent, everybody. But when I was in 7th grade or 6th grade, yay, Carrie's here. Well, I'm going to finish the story. We had to take phys ed, right? Which is like gymnastics kind of stuff in public school here. And we had to come up with a choreographed aerobics routine to Sweet Caroline. It was the worst moment in my life. One of the worst moments in my life. And we also had to do Chaka Khan's, I can't remember the Chaka Khan song. And it was the phys ed professor, the phys ed teacher that actually picked the music out. And I was like, oh, no. So thank you, Richard, for singing Sweet Caroline to me, okay? And bringing back those lovely memories. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so Carrie. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. Yes. You didn't miss that. Yes. All right, Carrie. Look at your hand. Right. Love it. I love it. I love the squareness of it. I love everything about it. First off, you have this fire, like learning to teach aerobic classes when you're so deaf. Oh my goodness, no. It was bad. It was a bad moment in my life for the 11-year-old me. I still have 50 and I still haven't gotten over it. All right, so that was TMI, everybody, right? So look at your hand, the squareness of it. Now, most people are going to say, ooh, air. No, I'm going to go off script here and say, ooh, fire. And you're going to say, what? But fire hands are square palms, okay? And you have a pretty darn square palm, okay? Now, even though it is on the longer side, meaning, it's the larger side of things, right? It's very, very square. And also the fact that your fingers are so much shorter in comparison to your palm also implies fire, okay? So with that, there's one thing that fire needs to have, or else it burns out. It needs to be fed. So Carrie, all those little projects that you start and you stop and you start and you stop, you start and you stop, and you go from one thing to the next, and your friends and family are like, just pick something, right? Well, don't listen to them, okay? Because that's what fire hands need. You are feeding your fire in order to keep you entertained and to keep that inner fire going. And it probably drives other people up the wall, and I can see on your hand where there is an issue in your area of social interactions. You have a mole right about here, okay? Now, that mole happens to be on something called a sister line. Now, this is the lifeline, okay? And any line that runs parallel to it is something called a sister line. And that mole is right on top of a sister line. Now, the lines that go from the base of the thumb toward the lifeline, those are negative interaction lines, meaning stuff that people have thrown at you, and just kind of like you can't shake it, right? It's just there. Well, sister lines try to act like a coffee filter, right? Like you have the grounds, and who wants to eat grounds? You can't eat the coffee grounds, right? So they will kind of swoop in. So they're friends and family and angels, or whatever your personal belief may be, right? And they'll swoop in and then the grounds get thrown on top of them, and then all that emotional stuff, which is the water, goes through all of that, the grounds and the filter. And what you end up with is something that is palatable, right? You might not like the taste of it, but you can take it, right? So they try to take the biggest and the nastiest part out of situations that get thrown at you. And if you notice on your line, and I can actually see because of the lighting on your hand, that negative lines will hit them and they change the closer they get to your lifeline. And that is because of the sister line, whoever they are. Okay. But this one that you have down here means that that is when they are going to start to fade away. So you are going to start to feel like, whoa, wait a minute, something's off. Something's off because they've been with you from the very beginning of when you were born. Also, you, just like the previous hand, have a completely separate wisdom line. So the same stands for you too, is that you see that your wisdom line does not pinch together, right? So when you have that separation, you are tapped into past life experience. So people will come to you for that fiery attitude that you have. They will. They'll come to you for the fiery attitude. But you have the actor's hand as well, meaning that Apollo and Saturn are close together on your palm. They're set together. And when that happens, that means that you will assume a role, kind of like putting on a Halloween mask, right? It's like, hey, this is who I am. This I'm going to do this to get through it, right? Just to assume a role, just to get things done. But you have to feed your fire. You have to, yes, there is change coming. Yes, there has to be change coming down in this area, okay? And it is coming. Your lifeline is going to be really interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting for you, and not in a bad way, but change is coming. And also, you are so very well respected. Even though you may be like, oh, I pick up this hobby and I drop it, or I pick up this one and I drop it, and people may criticize you for that, your presence line, which runs up through here, is so deep. Other people kind of have you on a pedestal, Carrie, okay? And the way that you don't have very deep lines in between your wisdom and your relationship line. You have some, but they're not very, very deep. You have to let those people in. You have to. And the fact that you are standoffish when it comes to your truth. I mean, Mercury is almost the same length as Apollo. There is a size difference here, but it's really almost the same length, same width, everything as Apollo. It's just set lower on your hand, okay? So you have the ability to speak up for yourself and demand, hey, look at me. Look at who I truly am and what my personal needs are. But you're not doing it yet. And you're going to have to start doing it very, very soon. Okay? And also the fact that Jupiter is set away from Saturn and also Apollo, meaning there's a space down here. There's a bigger space, okay? That means that you put your ego to the side, literally, in order to get things done for others. Keep in mind that fire can provide nutrients for people. And I'm not just talking about, because of Earth. What I mean is It can cook the food, right? You need fire, you need heat to cook the food. And it can also provide warmth, meaning a home for people, right? Through the winter. It can provide comfort, it can provide warmth, it can provide the food, all this stuff. But if it's not fed, it burns out. So keep on being you. But you're gonna have to start telling people, hey, I'm being me. Yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't speak the truth. You have a very, very creative way of speaking the truth. The truth about how you feel without truly speaking the truth of how you feel. It's really creative. It's really different, and it's really all Carrie. Okay, people know that about you, whether you realize it or not. They're just waiting on you to speak your piece. When you do, it's gonna be like, whoa, all right, everybody's gonna be like, yes, Carrie did it finally. Carrie did it. So just start doing it. Start easing into it, okay? And your relationships with people are going to change and they're going to deepen. And I mean relationships again as the broadest sense of the word, okay? Now, you also have doubt lines underneath Apollo. Now you gotta cut that out. You have to cut that out. You also have doubt lines underneath Mercury, which means that right now you're still doubting whether or not if you were to speak the truth, the absolute perfect truth about something, that it would just go over everybody's head and it wouldn't matter anyway, so why bother? And you also have doubt underneath Saturn, which is why bother? You have to get that out of your head. Also, because you have so many lines there, okay, at the very beginning of the relationship line, there is somebody in your current life, just like the hand before. There's somebody that is close to you that you knew in your past life, and they're probably the one that made sure that you didn't finish what you needed to finish, because the universe, AKA, has a way of testing us and seeing what we decide to do, if we're going to stay on the hamster wheel or if we're going to find our way off. And what I'm trying to do, Carrie, is tell you how to get off the hamster wheel. So start speaking your mind. Do it. Be direct. Don't be creative and fluffy with the truth. Just be very, very direct. Doubting exactly like that. You're doubting. Oh, well, I hope that helped, Carrie. And I'm seeing multiple versions of myself on the screen. This is interesting. I like that. Yeah. How many Rachels are there? Richard, what's up? Okay, but I have 3 versions of me on the screen. Okay, all right, gotcha. All right, I'll just say hi. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. How you doing, Rachel? Doing okay. Doing okay. My nose is itchy, but I'm doing okay. All right, so I believe Richard said Brad. Brad. Okay. This is an odd angle for a photo, but look at those calluses. That's something to look at. Now, you have such a deep, deep lifeline. Wow. Now, unfortunately, because it is blurry and the angle that it's at, I can't really see a lot of the lines. But what I will, yeah, so what it's going to be a quick reading. Okay, sorry about that. But at least you're getting something, right? So with the lifeline being so very, very deep, you do have some anxiety lines coming off of it, all right? So just hold that in check and do not be embarrassed of that, because everybody has some kind of anxiety in their life, Brad. Trust me on this, okay? Trust me. But the anxiety that you have is caused by other people and the situations that they have thrown at you. So also, you, this area which you cut off in the photo, looks like it is very puffy, right? Has that like pillow kind of texture to it. So, with that being said, you're highly empathic too. And the tips of your fingers and the way they are shaped, every one of your fingers, very, very interesting and intriguing, okay? You have a creative hand across the board. You have what's known as a creative hand. So I hope you are being creative with whatever you are using in a creative sense. Whatever you're working with, I feel that you are working with something, not just because you have calluses, but I believe that you have calluses also because you are doing this work, this creative work. So with all that, it's underneath Saturn, it's underneath Apollo, and it's underneath Mercury. So you are communicating and you are doing and you are expressing you through what you are working on. Okay. Now, the other thing is that you will put your self-esteem to the side. Your self-esteem, which is Jupiter, the pointer finger, is actually shorter than Saturn and Apollo, which are these two guys here, which is kind of a rare thing. So please have half a thumb, the other hand bonus in Gardener, and you love it. Good for you, Gardener. All right. So being out there in the earth, right? So understand that you, being you, you are putting all the negativity that you encounter, you're putting that in the earth, always out there gardening, right? And good for you, because a lot of people don't understand just how powerful doing something like that is and how transformational it really is to do something like that. But it's okay to put yourself first. It is. You might be like, nah. Oh, yes, Brad, it is. Okay, it really, really is. If something is bothering you that someone is doing, you need to speak up, because I feel that there is, and you're not speaking up about it. And that is based on your hands. It's not just me being the weird me and coming up with something. Because when the ego finger, or Zeus, aka Jupiter, is so small, people will bully those people that have a smaller Jupiter finger, and they will kind of push them around, okay, and make them do what they want them to do. But you need to put you first, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't. So even though you're out there gardening, God love you, all that, right? You're out there doing your thing. You can't pour from an empty cup. So you are going to have to start putting yourself first, no matter what. Okay? Or else you will not be able to help those that come to you for an assist. And there are a lot of people that do that. Well, I hope that helped, Brad, because that was very, very short. So I apologize. Next time, send in a bigger picture. Okay. Send in a bigger picture next time, Brad. Okay. So what are we doing now, Sir Richard? With no bone to knuckle. So okay, for no bone, meaning down here, meaning your entire thumb is gone. I'm a little confused there. Okay, so the entire thumb is okay. Yes, actually. Yes, yes, yes. That means that society is bullying you more so than ever. More so than ever. They are bullying you and pushing you around, which is why you kind of enjoy just being a gardener. And I don't mean just being, I mean just that's just your thing. It's like I'm just gonna be here and I'm going to garden. This is what I'm doing. Leaves me alone. And this is why I'm saying step out of that comfort zone and put yourself first and get in these people's faces and be like, nope, I don't think I can do that. I'm going to do something else today. And they're going to be like, what? What? Why, Brad? Why are you going to do that? Well, it's because you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to experience new things. And if you have to experience them without the people, yeah, yeah, being on the outside. Yep, I hear you. So you need to do your own thing. Yep, you need to do your own thing. But you need to do a different thing. So stop staying in a rut. Stop staying in the rut and do something completely different. And I get it's going to be hard because if people like to bully you or push you around, they're going to do it, especially if you're doing something that they're not used to. But just push it from your mind and just be you. You're strong enough. Your hand is strong enough. You can do it. You really can. Okay, Brad? All right. So, Sir Richard. Yeah, I might as well. Almost it's almost at the half hour. So yeah, might as well. Well, I was going to do some cards, but we're almost completely done because I spent so much time with people just yammering on. You were a butcher. Wow. All right. And you stress. Oh, you're very welcome, Brad. And if you have any questions about anything I said, just reach out to me, okay? Really. At Rachel G. Palmistry. I say at because the little symbol you have to put, to find me if you go to like one of the social apps or anything like that, okay? But yes, there you go. It's down there. It's down there. Thank you, Richard. So I guess that's me for tonight, everybody. Next time I'll be on in 2 weeks' time, and I promise I will have time to do some cards toward the end. But everybody, let's just pull a oracle card, just a general one, just for all of us. Okay. Now this deck is called For Private Reading. If you are an SPTV VIP member, you get $5 off. Okay. And so this is in US dollars, and I charge half hour is 40. So it would be, if you are a SPTV VIP member, it would be $35. But all my readings are a half hour. And also, this is the Oracle deck that I'm going to pull a card from. Okay. Okay. Works out to be 28 pounds for a reading for me for a full half hour. Richard just explained that to me. Okay. Let's see here. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. We're just going to do a general card for all of us here. You're very welcome, Tish. Hey, Allison. Now see, with this deck, this shows the energy, hey, Wendy, that you need to show yourself. Okay, which is why it's called the whispers of healing. It's how you need to heal yourself. And this card is truly beautiful. Oh, thank you, Amanda. Hope you have a great night. We have, everybody, unconditional love. So show yourself unconditional love. Okay? And you're probably like, how do I do that? You listen. You don't question your needs. You listen to your own needs. And you don't think, oh, I can't do that because XYZ. You listen to your own needs. And like I said, you can't pour from an empty cup. So right now, this is what all of us need, is unconditional love. Love for ourselves. Okay? So I hope that general card, I could at least do that for everybody. And all these names are flying by the bottom of the screen, and I'm neglecting to say goodnight to everybody. But good night, everybody. And it's always such a pleasure. And thank you, Joanne. Good to see you. And I wish you all good night. Remember, you're not alone in this world. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me. Okay, about any of the readings that I did for you tonight, you're more than welcome to ask. And I bid you adieu. Bye-bye, everybody. Okay, we did mention this, but
Spiritual Psychics TV presents an holistic fair on Saturday the 11th of June. Offering the best in spiritual readers and market stalls. Join us from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Throughout the day there will be many stalls such as natural polished crystals and stones, qualified complementary therapists offering spiritual healing. This exciting day is being held at the Waterlooville Community Centre, with plenty of free parking. A wide range of handmade products including candles, oils, jewelry, naturally organic and vegan soaps, creams, and bath bombs. Not forgetting the kids, we have face painting and a bouncy castle to enjoy all day. For those who are interested in potions, spells, and essentials oils, then we have a stall for you here as well. Maybe you're looking for a reading, be it mediumistic, palm, or tarot. 11 readers are available throughout the day. Refreshments such as drinks and light snacks are being provided by the 1940s Tea Room from Havant. Plenty of free workshops, talks, and a demonstration of mediumship are also planned during the day. For more information, please visit mbs.spiritualpsychicstv.online.
Spiritual Psychics TV is 100% free without stars or subscriptions. We go live daily from 8 p.m. offering the best in tarot and oracle readings, mediumship, guided meditations, interactive debate shows, thought-provoking philosophy shows, palmistry, astrology, rune readings, psychic art, animal communication, and other entertaining broadcasts. We also run regular free competitions and broadcast a divine service every Sunday. Spiritual Psychics TV offers free spiritual guidance and support for our viewers. We also organize events, be it in person or online. Come and visit our Facebook page at SPTV UK or visit our website at sptv.uk.
Spiritual Psychics TV, bringing spiritual people together.